Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've been talking about this for a while, that you need to make sure that you take the time between summer and fall to get as ready as you possibly can. Go stock up on bulk foods, things that you eat, things that are cheap. If you can afford to get like freeze-dried foods, by all means, diversify your pantry with those things that are going to last 20, 25 years. But most importantly, stock up on the things that you normally eat. Get rice, get beans, if you eat them, get pasta, spaghetti sauce, canned meats, all of those things that you know you're going to eat, put them in your pantry now. Because like I've been saying, between the summer, the beginning of summer, and the fall, people are going to start to wake up en masse. And they're going to go and they're going to put a lot of pressure on the price of foods because they're going to start taking it out of the supermarkets and the production is not what it used to be. Well, Mr. David Dubine, which I think is awesome, Adapt 2030. If you're not subscribed to Adapt 2030, go check his channel out. It is a must channel to subscribe to. That's all I have to say. And here it says, David Dubine, brace yourself for what happens between now and September. And he talks about a lot of those things that we've all been talking about for the last year or so. However, he breaks it down to why. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're not awake yet, there is a power grab in the world to control the world. And they want to make a one world government where one entity can pretty much control the whole world. And what's the best way to control that? Number one is food, energy, and finances. So look for food to be used to control you. Look for energy to be used to control you. Wow, are some of those things being used right now? Maybe food and energy. And also the stock market, ladies and gentlemen, is not having a very good year so far. And this is my guess. This is what I think. Do your own research. The stock market only has one way to go from where it is right now, and that's down. Yes, it's going to have its little up days and things like that, but eventually it's going to be on a downward path and it's going to spiral downward. I couldn't believe when I saw the dollar today, the Dixie. Oh my goodness, the Dixie is so high, which is one of the things that I also talked about, is that the strength of the dollar is going to continue to go up and up and up. And what's that going to do, ladies and gentlemen? That is going to demolish the countries that are poorer countries, developing countries. And why is it important for us in the Western states, in the Western nations, not states, but Western nations like the US, Great Britain, Australia, nations like that? Why is it so important that these countries that are developing nations, that they don't go bankrupt? Well, the reason is because a lot of the stocks that are in the stock market, a lot of them are vested in these countries. And if they can't pay their loans because the dollar is so high, it's really going to affect your pension more than what you may think. So those three things are going to bring in a crisis where those that want to have all of the power are going to use those crises to try to govern every minute and every day of your life. David Dubine of Adapt 2030 says there will be some major disruptive changes between now and September of this year. Most notably, the ruling classes will need to take down the entire global economy. And it's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. I am sorry to say it. So many people are going to lose everything that they have in paper. I was talking to the tax man the other day, the guy that comes and checks the properties every year or so to see what your taxes are going to be. He was out there and he wanted to come and look at my property, and I was talking to him for a little bit, and I started talking to him about this, and I said, are you almost ready to retire? And he said, yeah, in a year or two. I said, well, if you have a 401k, you can kiss it goodbye. I said, because if your paper, if the wealth that you have is in paper, meaning in digits or in paper in a stock market or even money in the bank, you're more than likely going to lose most of it. And he was like, but why? I actually ended up talking to him for like 45 minutes. Really nice gentleman, even though he does taxes and stuff, which I told him myself how much I disagree with that. But he was a very nice gentleman, and he stood there and talked to me for a while. And I hope that he went and did some research, because a lot of people are going to lose a lot of their life savings in the market. He says we will need to brace ourselves for what is in store for us during the next few months. The fertilizer shortage is going to cause widespread issues, and it already is, including food shortages and a rapid increase in the cost of the food that is going to be available. There is so much based on food production that this will also impact the economy, which is one of the big things that the rulers need to take down to make sure that they can get their global reset and control literally everything on this planet, including ourselves. Let me get this out of the way. If you think this is fear-mongering, then go ahead and take your head and stick it back under the sand. If by now you cannot see what is going on, if by now you cannot see that everything is going up in price, more importantly, that everything is going up in your manpower, in your labor, meaning that it is costing more of your life for you to buy those same things that you used to buy before. And how do I know this? The reason I know this, even though I don't know you personally, is ask yourself a question. Has your salary gone up in pace with inflation? Have you gotten a 30% raise between last year and this year? Yes, 30%, ladies and gentlemen, because even though the government tells us that the official inflation print is about 8.6%, do you really think it's 8.6%? Has gasoline gone up 8.6% since last year? Has the price of beef gone up 8.6% since last year? Eggs, chicken, houses, rents, cars, oil, diesel. Has any of that gone up 8.6%? I don't think so. Try 20, 30, 40%, 50%, 100% in some cases. Do you use heating oil to heat your home? Because I do, and that's gone up more than 200% since last year. All you have to do is be honest with yourself, and you know that your pay does not keep up with inflation. And that is a theft of your labor, and it will continue. And they will crash the system because they want a new system that only they can control. So he says, ladies and gentlemen, that he himself is scared. But what he's doing now is trying to alert you of what's going to happen here in September. And he says, this is your primer right here. If you go to this link, ladies and gentlemen, you can click on this video and watch it. I already watched it. They're telling you, get ready for lower yields and even total losses. Now, I've done several videos where I said that farmers were actually reporting that they had a total loss, meaning that they were just going to take the insurance money and not plant any crops at all. And those farmers that did plant, a lot of them were looking at total losses for a couple of reasons. Some farmers had fields that were too wet. Some farmers had fields that were too dry. Some farmers did not use fertilizer or as much fertilizer as they normally would have used because the price of the fertilizer is so high. And he goes on to say, quote, it's already been primed for the world to understand that there's some problem with food and that the bottom is going to drop out of what is considered stable food production. In August, making September the month, we all start to feel the effects of the upcoming famine, according to the Bible. The warnings get more intense as we know that once this all comes crashing down, it will be used as an excuse to force everyone to use digital currency. What have we been talking about? We're all on the same page here, ladies and gentlemen. The only people not telling you what we are here telling you in the alternative media are those in the mainstream media. This is all a plan to get us onto a digital currency. And for those of you that think I'm crazy, for those of you that think that I am some kind of a conspiracy theorist or something like that, for those of you that think that maybe I want this to happen just so that we can have chaos, then you better think for yourself. Think for your families. We are telling you this because this is the truth. This is what nobody wants to speak about. But ask yourselves in a private setting, what does it look like to you? Does it look like government really cares about you? Does this sound really out there when you know that government is for government and that government just wants more power on top of the power that they already have? They want to control you, and they will control you unless you are prepared. So preserve your sovereignty, preserve your free will by getting prepared. Go out there, ladies and gentlemen, and get bulk foods. They are the cheapest right now that they're going to be, who knows for how long. There will be one day where this all reverses and good times are going to be back again. But are you going to make it between now and then? That is the question. And that's what preparing is for, so that you can make it from point A to point B. And he finishes it off by saying the prices are going to run like a scolded dog. And you're going to see prices between now and September that you never thought were possible. And from that point forward, he says Humpty Dumpty can never get put back together again. This is just a precursor to it. It's really going to get painful coming up here. So please prepare yourselves. Mr. David Dubine. Great channel. I've been following Mr. Dubine here for so long. He's a really good guy, and he really does care about humanity, and he cares about his country. So ladies and gentlemen, you can do one of two things. You can either prepare or not prepare. You want to sit back there in your chair, watching your computer or your phone or your tablet, and being a keyboard ninja and calling people fearmongers. By all means, go ahead. But the day will come where you are begging someone for food because you yourself did not take the opportunity to prepare right now. I hope that you are having a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining in, and thank you very much for your support. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.